Hey everyone. So last week I mentioned that I'm going to be starting a topic of the week, meaning each video rather, is going to be based on a different topic. And I figured that the first one that I'll talk about is the one that affects me most in my day-to-day life, and that's PTSD. Now, I could sit here and I could tell you all the statistics that in, war veterans and rape victims and whatnot, anywhere from 10 to 30% of those people suffer from PTSD. And I could tell you that there are roughly around 5 million Americans suffering from this at any one time in America. But while it's important to raise awareness to that, I think it's even more important to bring to light to those who don't understand and those that don't know or possibly wouldn't have thought it as a possibility in somebody that you know, what having this is like and what some of the symptoms are. Because while the person who has it may have been to the doctor and been diagnosed with it, or may suspect it, that's not to say never self-diagnose. I would have never even considered the fact that I had this before I was forced to see psychiatrists. But just because the person with it may know doesn't mean that they're going to go around talking about it, that everybody in their life is going to know. So, PTSD falls into, the symptoms of it fall into three main categories. The first one is the reliving of the event. I do this all the time. It's flashbacks, like memories that, flash into your mind and then completely take over everything. You feel like you're there again, and it's horrible. Okay? So flashbacks. Repeated memories, like not being able to stop thinking about it. Like, there are days when I wake up and I can't even really function throughout the day because I find myself constantly thinking of that day and everything that happened, and all the feelings well up again, and you kind of shut down because that's all you can think about. You try and you try and you try and you can't stop it. Repeat of nightmares. For the first 2.5 years or so, every night without fail, I had so many issues sleeping because every night I would wake up in the middle of the night sweating with my heart racing in the middle of a panic attack because of nightmares. I've woken myself up screaming, and I've scared my parents because I've woken up screaming. I've scared my siblings who are younger because I've woken up screaming. They don't know what's going on. They're too young to understand. Also, reactions to situations around you, things that happen. It's not the same for everybody, obviously, but for me, it could be anything. It could be certain phrases if I'm overhearing somebody's conversation. It could be a certain word. It can be a look. It could be the way I feel around somebody. It could be something that I catch out of the corner of my eye, and all of a sudden, you're back. And you're, like I said, it's different with everybody, but with me, I automatically start going into flashbacks, and start getting panic attacks. My heart starts racing really bad. I start sweating, and I have problems breathing, and I have to escape. I have to get outside. If I'm in a big crowd, I have to get out. I can't stay, and it's really bad with where I work, because I work in a sandwich shop, and lunchtime people pour in some days, and it's really hard, even though there's a counter between me and them. It's really hard for me to keep my focus, because sometimes I slip. I try to keep myself under control, and I try to fight it, but there's just days where it doesn't happen, and so I have to look at my boss and be like, I have to step outside. I need a few minutes. And that's one of the most uncomfortable things, because I had to explain to my bosses, hey, I have this issue. I can't tell you why. I don't feel comfortable telling you why. But I have this issue, and sometimes this happens. So if I have to step outside, you're going to have to let me. Now, the second main category for symptoms of PTSD is avoidance. I also go through a lot of these. Emotional numbing, where you don't feel anything. I got to the point where I had pushed down my feelings so much that even now, I can't feel. I can't feel happy. I can't feel sad. I can't feel anger. I know that I'm supposed to feel those things, and I can make it seem like I do, because I've gotten so good at it. I got so good at hiding everything and pretending about everything when nobody knew, that it comes naturally to just act it. I have to reteach myself how to feel all these emotions, and it's scary. It really is, because that leads into the next part of avoidance, and that's feeling detached, like you're not a part of anything. You're just kind of floating through the day-to-day. You can't remember certain parts of what happened. I certainly don't remember everything that happened that night. I get flashes, like bits and pieces here and there, because, and I don't think I can attribute this to the PTSD. I think I can attribute this to the fact that while it was happening, I knew that I couldn't fight it off, that I couldn't get him to leave me alone, so I kind of withdrew into myself and went to my happy place. And my happy place is actually, memories from when I was a kid, from when things were simpler, when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, and the worst thing that happened was when me and my best friend would get into an argument, throwing insults at each other to see who can make the other feel worse. Also, having a lack of interest in normal activities. I have no social life whatsoever. I don't go out and hang out with friends. Every now and then I may leave town to go to a concert, but that's as far as it gets. I work and I'm at home. I have no social life. You also show less of your moods. I wouldn't say I show less of my moods, but because I can't feel, that's why. And when I'm at home, I tend to lock myself up in my room and stay back here. My parents refer to it as my bat cave, because I'm always back here and I never leave. You avoid places, people, or thoughts that remind you of the event. Well, I avoid everything. Because if I avoid everything, I'm less likely to start panicking. Feeling like you have no future. I certainly feel like I have no future. I'm not in school. I have no plans to go back to school. I'm working a minimum wage job, 20 hours a week, and I'm still living with my parents. I mean, there's no less future in there, in that. There's absolutely no future. Third point is arousal. You have difficulty concentrating. Yeah, I'm a writer, And I started a book probably about 6 months ago now, and I haven't even got 3 pages in the first chapter. I've got like a prologue or preface and like a page and a half of the first chapter in 6 months. I can't concentrate for anything. You startle easily. I can't have anybody come up behind me or sneak up on me or say something if I know they're not there. I jump, I start panicking. It's really bad. Have an exaggerated response to things that startle me. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've come like this close to hitting somebody, like actually turning around like this, and then it takes me a couple seconds. I know you did okay. It's cool. Feeling more aware, definitely. I'm constantly, wherever I'm at, if I'm out of the house, I'm always looking over my shoulder. If I'm alone in the house, I'm looking over my shoulder. I never go anywhere without, there it is. I never go anywhere without my knife. And I don't condone this, but it's what makes me feel safe. You're irritable, have outbursts of anger. Again, I don't feel anger, but things do annoy me. If that makes any sense, I can't feel anything, but I can feel annoyance. I don't consider that a true emotion because it's just like, ugh, really? And so, I know that before everything happened, when I got annoyed, I would get angry. So if I feel that annoyance, I tend to burst out and start yelling and screaming and throwing things, and it's not good. Having trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, I already touched on that with my nightmares. I can't do it. And then feeling guilt about the event. I do. I blame myself. I've told everybody, I'm starting to move past it, I'm starting to do this. It's all lies. And I hate to say that because I know the people that I've told that to are probably going to see this video. But I haven't moved past it. I still blame myself. I still wonder and go through different situations, different ways I could have handled it, if I could have avoided it. What did I do to bring this on to myself? What could I have done differently? Why me? I still blame God. I still ask God why every night. Why me? Why do this to me? I don't get it. And I really don't. I haven't found the answer. I probably never will find the answer. I lost my faith for a very long time, and I still haven't really gotten it back. Yes, I talk to God. Yes, I ask Him why. But that doesn't mean I have faith in Him. I feel like He let this happen to me. And if He could let this happen to me, why should I put my trust and faith in Him? I just don't get it. But this video has gotten pretty long already. I'm probably going to have to edit it down, even though we all know I hate editing videos. But again, I just want to close out with saying, again, I'm going to repeat myself. If you feel this way, do not self-diagnose. Do not try to fix it yourself, because in our minds, when we're feeling like this, our way of fixing ourselves is to hurt ourselves, to try to let it out. That is not the right thing to do. Okay? Please, if you're feeling like this, don't let it go on as long as I did. Let me be your example of a mistake. Get to a doctor. I beg you.